In the days of the ancient Persian Empire, the prophet Daniel found himself living in a land far from home. Israel had been conquered, and Daniel, along with many of his people, had been taken captive to Babylon. Now under Persian rule, Daniel had grown old, but his faith in God had not wavered. He prayed daily, seeking wisdom and answers about the future of Israel. One year, while Daniel was in mourning over the state of his people, he decided to fast for 3 weeks. He abstained from meat, wine, and luxuries, hoping that God would reveal to him what was to come for the nation of Israel. But despite his constant prayers, no answer came, and Daniel's heart grew heavy with the weight of uncertainty. Then one day, as Daniel stood by the banks of the great Tigris River, a powerful vision unfolded before him. A man clothed in linen appeared, his body glowing like polished metal. His face shone like lightning, his eyes blazed like fire, and his voice thundered like the roar of a mighty ocean. This being was no ordinary man, but the angel Gabriel, sent from the very throne of God. Daniel, trembling, fell to the ground, unable to speak. Gabriel touched him gently and said, "Daniel, greatly beloved, do not be afraid. From the moment you humbled yourself to seek understanding, your prayers were heard. I have come because of your words." But Gabriel explained that his arrival had been delayed. He had been opposed by the Prince of Persia, a dark and powerful spiritual being who ruled over the Persian Empire in the unseen realm. This prince was not a human, but a demonic force influencing the hearts of Persian leaders, seeking to prevent God's plan for Israel from unfolding. "For 21 days, the Prince of Persia resisted me," Gabriel said. "But then Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me. With his aid, I was able to break through and come to you." Michael was no ordinary angel. He was Israel's guardian, a mighty warrior who stood in the heavenly courts as the protector of God's chosen people. While Gabriel was a messenger, Michael was a fighter, a commander in the armies of heaven. When the Prince of Persia sought to stop Gabriel's mission, Michael intervened, defeating the dark force that stood in the way. Gabriel then revealed to Daniel the future of Israel and the surrounding nations. He spoke of coming wars, of kings rising and falling, and of dark spiritual forces influencing the rulers of the world. After Persia, the Prince of Greece would rise, and another empire would oppress Israel. But Gabriel assured Daniel that, no matter how powerful these dark forces became, Michael would always stand by Israel's side. "In the last days," Gabriel said, "there will be a time of great distress, unlike anything that has ever happened before. Nations will rise against each other, and Israel will be caught in the midst of chaos. But at that time, Michael, the great prince who watches over your people, will stand up. He will fight for Israel, and your people will be delivered, those whose names are found written in the book of life." Gabriel's words were both a warning and a promise. Israel would face many more trials, but in the end, Michael would arise, leading the charge in the final battle against the forces of darkness. No matter how fierce the opposition, no matter how overwhelming the evil, Michael would not let Israel be destroyed. Daniel, though shaken by the vision, was comforted. He knew that the fate of his people did not rest in the hands of human rulers or empires, but in the hands of God. And with Michael, the great defender of Israel, watching over them, there was always hope. As Daniel's vision faded, he continued to pray and fast, strengthened by the knowledge that even in the invisible realms, a great battle was being fought on Israel's behalf. Though Persia and Greece would rise and fall, though the world would be plunged into turmoil, Michael's sword would always be drawn for God's people, ensuring that Israel's story would not end in defeat, but in victory. From that day forward, Daniel's trust in God's plan was unshakable. He understood that behind the rise and fall of nations, behind the political schemes and the wars of kings, an eternal struggle was taking place. And at the forefront of that struggle stood Michael, Israel's protector, who would fight until the final day, when God's people would be delivered into everlasting peace.